Hey everyone, it's Jenna Melanson from Canadian Beats Media. I'm joined today by Matt from the Halifax-based band Hot Mondy for our latest segment of Zoomies. Welcome, Matt.
Thanks for having us.
It's my pleasure. So first off, care to introduce Hot Mondy to our listeners?
Yeah, we're a band from Halifax, Nova Scotia. We're a relatively new band. We just released our first full-length album and sort of kicking out on our first kind of proper tour this year. That's us long and short of it.
Okay. You've unveiled your album Best Laid Plans. What can you tell us about the creative process behind the release?
Yeah, well, as a band, we kind of formed during COVID, during the pandemic. And then, when we were on the other side of our EP and kind of, exploring the possibility of getting out and playing, the pandemic just kept extending. So we had a lot of stockpiled material. So we decided to just get back in the studio and get this album done, which was, probably close to an 18-month process. It was all recorded here in Halifax with producer Michael Philip Voivoda, who, Juno winner with, Bare Naked Ladies, Real Statics, fantastic guy and producer. So it's a great sounding record. And I think that's kind of the main, overview of making the record.
Okay. The album features 6 different vocalists. What made you go this route?
Yeah, so I mean that includes myself and Travis within the band. So we brought in a few extra guest vocalists. One of the reasons we did that is because this album lends itself very well to some different kind of perspectives and voices, especially with the material and the content. And there's a lot of people in this, a lot of singers and musicians in this area that we're big fans of, and we wanted to work with. So we reached out to them, and they were keen to get involved in the project. And it kind of gives the album a very sort of unique, kind of stylistically to it in terms of having those different voices.
Mm-hmm. It's an awesome thing to do for sure. You also unveiled a comic book along with the physical albums. How did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, so that was it was only our second project, but something that we're very visually oriented group. So with our EP, we did a lot of pretty cool music videos. And for this one, we decided to go this route with the sort of graphic comics. So basically with the album, you will get a comic that's basically representative of each song, done by different artists, different type of comic styles that sort of tell a story that's not necessarily a literal representation of the lyrics, but more just a representation kind of the spirit and soul of the song. Some are more kind of on point with the lyrics than others. But it just gives a really kind of interesting piece to interact with when you're listening to the music. So that's almost done. So we'll be having that'll be finished here probably in the next week or so. So
okay, nice. If you had to choose one song for a new listener to check out, which would it be?
I would say check out Be Mine. That features Trav on vocals, and it's kind of it doesn't lean too hard one way or the other in terms of where we are stylistically. It's just a really feel good song, a lot of fun to listen to. So that's probably what I would recommend first.
Yeah. The next 5 questions are just for fun. So who was the first Canadian band or artist to catch your attention growing up?
Well, I mean, in terms of growing up, so going back very early, I mean, it's topical, but like Gordon Lightfoot was a big part of my musical experience growing up. In terms of, the first artist that I went out to see and kind of got into was when I was 12. The Bare Naked Ladies released Gordon, and that was just like they were huge at that time, and that was the first big concert I went to. And that was just super fun. That's just a big part of a lot of Canadians' lives, that record, when it came out. So that's probably the other big one that comes to mind.
Awesome. What's the last concert you attended?
Um, I took my son to Michael Bublé, I think just before Christmas. My little guy's a big fan of his, and so we went and got entertained for a couple hours. Michael's a kick-ass entertainer, so
Yeah,
it
for
was a
sure.
lot of fun. Yeah.
If you could tour with any fellow Canadian artist or band, who would you choose?
I mean, I'm a massive Blue Rodeo fan.
Mhm.
So any opportunity to do something with those guys would be amazing. I also really like the Brothers Landreth. They just
Mhm.
won a Juno there, I think, for their album, and I just really like their music and their vibe. There's lots, but those
Yeah,
two
for
come to
sure.
mind.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
I like, I don't know. I don't do a ton of karaoke, but like Hold the Line by Toto or something like that, something that's just ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's probably the first choice.
Okay. And what is the one thing that is always in your fridge?
I'm gonna go with cheese. Love cheese. There's always cheese in the fridge.
Okay. Well, that's it for Zoomies. Thank you for joining me and
Thanks
congratulations
for
on the
having.
album.
Appreciate it.